Good evening and bienvenue, my fond fair friends, family, and subscribers. This is your humble narrator, Diomedes Rouge, here to bring you part 13 of What If Issei was the reincarnation of Escanor. But before then, I must apologize. A lot of you were probably wondering what happened to me. Why have I not been uploading? What is going on? To be honest, I became ill. My throat was hoarse, sneezing, coughing, blah, blah, blah. Yes, it was quite a chore. Still had to work, still had to do things, but recording was impossible. Anytime I would try, about halfway through, I would have to stop for a coughing fit, sneezing fit. It would mess up the audio, not to mention me sounding like this is not really what most people would like to hear, or worse, me sounding like, eh. Yes, it's not exactly fun, nor would it be fair to you all. I do apologize for the inconvenience, as well as the absence, but I will report to you now that I am back in full proper condition and ready to get back towards your regularly scheduled programming. I hope you are all kind and you are all willing to forgive this sudden lapse. Now, where were we? Ah, yes. What if Issei was the reincarnation of Escanor? Now, where we last left off, you all got a dip into Lancelot's backstory. You were able to see who he was, how he became who he is. But so did Issei. And that has changed him. He still loves Lancelot because that's his son. It's Escanor's son. It's something that ties him and Merlin together. But he knows that his son's will and stubbornness and pride is second none other to his own. And that nothing would stop him. Nothing would keep him from completing his tasks. Nothing would slow him down, short of another unstoppable force. Hatred is a powerful motivator, as Meliodas would know. But if you combine that with pride, well, you get a swirling mass of emotions that intertwine with each other, that spiral out of control into a furthering deep dark pit. And he feels sorry that he allowed his son to feel that for so long. However, he will do what's right and save his son from this, even if it costs both of them their lives. And so he uses Merlin's territory, her area, to train. As she gets him more accustomed to higher tier magic. Because while Rias, Akeno, they may be powerful in their own right, but Merlin's a woman all of her own in this regard. Merlin's magical prowess is unmatched even in the demon realm, much less by standard devils, and even above standard devils. However, do not think that the other sins are taking this threat lying down, nor do you think that, well, the Grimmery family is taking what's going down without a fight. Lancelot just revealed his trump card, his biggest plan to destroy everything. And so, they all prepare for the fight that is to come. Each one of them begins to train harder and faster and stronger. Every single one of them pushes their bodies beyond the breaking points. They amass treaty. They call forth old treaties. They bring forth armies. Riser comes forth with his entire group. Everyone is called forth for this impending fight because they don't know where Issei is. Nor do they know if he could fight his own child, so to speak, or if this person is even telling the truth. Granted, they look so similar to one another, it's hard to believe they don't. It truly is quite the predicament they find themselves in. However, the week passes. And upon the final day, when twilight is beginning to set, that is when Issei appears back on the campus, in front of everybody, alongside Merlin. Everyone somewhat shocked, angry, even surprised. But that doesn't last long, as a familiar face opens another portal and walks through. And as you would all guess, it is in fact Lancelot. Well, you amassed quite the little following here, eh, Mr. Hudo? I didn't do a thing. They gathered here of their own volition. I had nothing to do with this. I was busy with other things. As he looks over towards Merlin. Hello, Mother. You're here to stop my plans? No, Lance. I'm here to ask you to listen. This is your father. This is Escanor. Mother, I thought we've been through this. I know you would say anything to stop me from going down the so-called wrong path. I know you would stop at nothing to ensure my compliance with you. However, as admirable as that may be, I know that this weak specimen cannot be my father. Call me weak again, child. Child. As far as I'm concerned, I'm older than you. That may be true. But you're still a child in my eyes. You're an arrogant, asinine twat that has yet to learn his place. That's big talk coming from someone who relies upon the sun. Wrong. It's big talk coming from someone who understands what real power is. You. You don't understand power. You use it. You use it like it's a tool. You throw it around like it's a hammer, smashing any nail you see fit, breaking any board you think needs breaking. You fail to realize what you're truly meant to do with it. You don't know your place. Oh, and pray tell, what is my place, if you're so knowledgeable, Mr. Hudo? Your place was to be a son who grew up and loved his mother. Your place was to be a noble inventor, a powerful warrior, a strong defender, an ally to both good and the just. Your place was to bring happiness wherever you went, in both day and night. Your place was never to be a weapon, was never to harm. It was never to destroy. You are better than that. You will always be better than that, Lancelot. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry that my death affected you so. That the bitter resentment you had upon my death twisted and tormented that beautiful light that was once so pure, that was once so bright, that it could outshine the sun itself. And it mangled it into a dark abyss of nothingness and despair. If I had known what would have happened, I don't know. Maybe I would have tried something different. Maybe I wouldn't have fought. Maybe I wouldn't have tried holding them off. Maybe we could have run. But regret does us both nothing. Me and you both know you won't be satisfied with this talk. Me and you both know that this is only going to end one way. Correct, Mr. Hudo. This shall only end one way. Of course, I have to admit, I must give you props. Looking into my history like that and trying to tug along my emotional cords. Bravo! If it was any other person, it might have worked. You still don't know. You still think I'm not Escanor, with all the proof. Rita responds to none other than my command. Rita is a tool, just as you accused me of being. I accused you of using your power as a tool. Your power is a part of your soul. To misuse it is to misuse yourself. Your spirit, your power, your soul itself was pure, Lancelot. To see you use it in such a manner, it hurts me more than you could ever know. It hurts me more than any wound you could make. We'll see about that now, won't we? Very well, Lancelot. Let us go. Very well. Would you like your crowd to follow you, considering they may not be able to get a chance to later on? In fact, most of them will be dead afterwards. You know, once I win and wipe all devils from the face of the planet. Sure. I wouldn't mind them seeing your downfall, my son. As they both walk through the portal into purgatory. Upon doing so, another portal opens up underneath, well, the large groups consisting of the seven sins, the new seven sins, the Grimmery household, the Riser household, engulfing them all and bringing them forward. As they examine the stage from inside a perfect cube. And my, what a stage it is. A ceremony unlike any others is currently being made. And you can tell Lancelot put a lot of time and effort into it. For on one side, a rising sun is beginning to come into view. While on the other side, a full moon is coming to fruition. Both sides of this plane are raising up both sides of both night and day. Night and day, not light and day. Apologies. I figured it would be appropriate, you know, seeing as how you need the sun for your best attacks and I require the moon. Pardon me? It truly is a marvelous sight. A fine place for a grand battle. Indeed. Now both of us can go full strength, without either of us having to hold back. Just as a proper fight is meant to be, as both of them begin to bulk up in strength. But instead of postponing and dragging this fight out, what do you say we do things properly right from the get-go? As he calls forth, well, the white gear, the white pardon me, as he calls forth, the white sacred gear, the light wings of the dragon. Just to make this a bit more fun. I, who is about to awaken, am the heavenly dragon who has taken the principles of supremacy from God. I envy the infinite and pursue the dream. I shall become the white dragon of supremacy, and I shall take you to the limits of white paradise. And upon doing so, Issei yet again sees the brilliant flash of white light flood over, as he then gazes upon Lancelot, cloaked in the full armor of the white dragon. as he calls forth his sacred treasure, Missaltine, a divine spear, ebony in coloration, with a bejeweled ruby at the end. What does this treasure do? Considering this is your first time seeing it, it is something that he created himself. And it allows him to control, well, both the mystical energies he has gained from his mother that he utilizes in the time of day, as well as the raw power from his own proper source of magic. With it, in day or night, he is always ready to fight. As Issei looks upon this, very well, let's get this over with. As he calls upon his boosted gear, I, who is about to awaken, am the heavenly dragon who has stolen the principles of domination from God. I laugh at the infinite and grieve at the dream. I shall become the red dragon of domination and shall sink you to the depths of crimson purgatory. As he powers up, and in a brilliant crimson flash overwhelms the area as he unleashes his juggernaut drive. The stage has been set as he calls forth Rita. Spear versus axe, son versus father, twilight versus overwhelming sunlight. What shall happen? For one shall stand and one shall fall. As they wait, eyeing each other up, as they fly into the heavens, ever so closely, the moon and sun rise higher and higher, until finally, Lancelot makes the first move. Divine dividing is said over and over, trying to immediately zap Escanor's strength as he charges forward. Boost, 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 boost! Slashing and hacking upon his own child. However, he cannot think in this manner. Lancelot is currently a foe, an enemy. He must not hold back. He must not resist the moment of kill if it presents itself. A lot easier said than done. As he brings down Rita, slamming himself against the spear known as Missaltine. As Lancelot deflects the blow, hitting him with the butt of the spear, sending him flying downwards as he has to recorrect himself and launch himself forward. Cruel explosion! A large beam of energy fired from the cannons over his shoulders, straight at Lancelot, but Lancelot takes out his spear. Divine dividing, divine dividing, divine dividing, weakening the blow just before using the ruby and hitting and intercepting the beam, causing it to bend and move around it. Redirection. As he spins the spear in his hands over his head and does a thrust, encoding the previous cruel explosion with dark energy, sending it back down. However, Escanor does not yield at this. In fact, he laughs as he charges forward with Rita, slamming his axe slamming the blade of it straight into the beam as it comes down, severing it in half. as the beam collides and, well, deflects, impacting the grounds below. This clash of titans is not gonna be over for a long shot. Blow after blow, attack after attack, shockwaves are created. No one can tell who has the upper hand, who is winning, who is losing, who is doing what. They begin to move at such speeds that not even God himself could keep track of. Sorry for the blasphemy. As, well, things keep getting more and more dramatic, more and more outlandish, as the moon and sun reach higher and higher in this pit of purgatory. As eventually, when they finally stop, and when they finally look at each other, each one of them realizing their armor is cracking at the seams, bloodied and mangled, their bodies feel as if they're barely holding together. I will not yield, Escanor states. Neither will I, Lancelot rebuttals, as they prepare for another clash, while Merlin sits back and sheds tears. Tears of pure misery and sorrow upon seeing her husband and her son fighting to the death, seeing each one of them beat and batter each other senseless, not wanting either to win, but not wanting either to lose. She knows what is right, but she knows she cannot harm her child, nor can she ever wish it ill will. It's illogical, but that is the price you pay for being a parent. While at the same point in time, everyone else seems to be rooting for good old Escanor. But suddenly things begin to take a cruel turn of fate. As with one heavy slash, Escanor chops off one of the wings holding Lancelot in the air, but in doing so left his center open, and Lancelot took advantage, piercing him through with his mistletoe, causing him immense pain as they both fall to the surface. As Lancelot pulls the spear from his gut, spinning it to remove the blood, as Escanor pulls out takes his axe and shakes it, sealing the wound on his gut shut with his son, his flaming powers. This isn't gonna get us anywhere. You're right. And it's not even and the worst part about it is, it's not even our powers aren't even at their apex. I was hoping to save this for when it was. It would have been a very flashy thing to end it off on, old man. But I'm more than willing to end it now. You've read my mind, you little brat. It's time I show you the true might of the ultimate being. As at the same time, they say, sacred treasure, release. As a brilliant crimson light begins to engulf the tip of Rita's blade, making the sun grow in a fantastic size and shape. Cruel Nova. As Lancelot spins his spear, it's faster and faster, as the intertwining light of both dawn and dusk circle around. Black and gold begin to intertwine around the ruby and the blade. As the faster it goes, the more powerful it begins to move, the more powerful and energy it begins to generate. As he says, Twilight Galaxy. As both of them prepare for this one final blast, this one giant clash of raw power. They finally get the last bit of energy they can. Boost, 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 boost. At the same time, trying to cut his energy down with divine dividing. Using whatever energy he can siphon to increase his own from the white dragon. As finally, the clash occurs as they both send out their energy. And well, let's just put it this way. The ensuing collision destroys a large, and I do mean a virtually undescribable amount of land and power. Almost completely wiping purgatory off the planet, or off whatever it is in. The entire dimension itself seems like it's beginning to crack and shatter as it begins to tremble, almost in fear of these two cosmic beings. At the same point in time, Merlin has to redouble the efforts of Lancelot, creating layer upon layer upon layer of perfect cubes. The same goes with Elizabeth, reinforcing and guarding it, as everyone is trying to just not be wiped out by these immense powerhouses clashing. And when everything's said and done, the armors on both Escanor and Lancelot are shattered. The boosted gear and the boosted gear and the sacred light wings are, well, they're out of juice. Both of the dragons can no longer push forward. They must rest and recover. Whatever happens now will be settled between father and son. As they both slowly fall to the ground, both severely exhausted, both gasping for air, as they realize their powers are still yet growing. True, the power from the dragons are gone, but the power from their own abilities has not yet left them. This has gone from being a fight between two draconic forces to being a fight between two knights. As Escanor looks up, as the sun strikes perfect midday, his body becoming ever more increasingly powerful and large, to the point to where the ground itself begins to melt around him. to where the air begins to explode and, well, shoot forward. But at the same time, the moon reaches its apex, causing this collision in the middle of the sky in this purgatory. This perfect unison of moon and sun. As Lancelot also shows off his true strength and form. Looks like last time wasn't enough to finish you, eh, old man? Old man, is it? Finally beginning to believe me, Lance? No one else could survive those attacks, Father. But I can't give up on my ambitions now. You've been tainted. I can't stop. Otherwise, all those years, those centuries would have been for waste. And besides, none of them would forgive me. Not for what I've done. You're probably right. But I can always protect you. We saw how that ended last go-round, didn't we, Father? I guess we did. So this'll be our final heartfelt strike, huh? For good this time. Let me show you what I've picked up. And let me show you how the old man works. As both of them set themselves up in a perfect stance. Holy sword, Escanor. Escanor says as he takes the flat of his hand and carves a line straight into the air. As Lance pulls back his arm and coats it with dark energy, and in one smooth motion eases it forward. Divine Spear, Lancelot. As they both move forward, they clash, each impact leaving its mark, each, well, wave of energy flowing off of this powerful clash, hitting the perfect cubes at nowhere near the power that the dragons did, but still enough to rattle the people inside. And when it's all said and done, each of them have their backs at each other as they've both moved forward from their strikes. Escanor looks down and sees a gaping hole in his gut as he falls to one knee, coughing up blood. But Lance tilts half of his body around, does a quick smile. Looks like you win, old man. As he falls to the ground with a perfect slash going straight through his center, from the middle of his chest all the way down to his abdomen. A perfect line from Holy Sword Escanor. He darts over to his son. Lance, stay with me, boy. Stay with me. He's still alive, you know. What? You know, the one that calls himself Lucifer. He's still alive. He's locked up over there on my contraption. It won't work now and will soon fall apart with me dead. It was powered by my energy. You know, I always did want to know what a fight with you felt like. Looks like I got to feel it. As he begins to shrink down. Come on, we'll have many more fights yet. Maybe not this intense, but come on, Lance. Stay with me, my boy. No, I'm sorry, Dad. Looks like this time I get to go away for a while. Who knows? Maybe I get to come back in another life. Dad, it's getting cold. Easy, boy, easy. Don't talk like that. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Trust in me. Believe in me. You'll be fine. I don't think I can, Dad. Can I ask one last thing? Blood begins to spew from his mouth profusely. What is it? Tell me, what do you want? I'll do anything. Just stay with me, boy. Could you sing me that lullaby again? This isn't the time for songs, boy. This isn't the time. Please, Dad. One more time. He brings his head up to his knee. And he sits down proper. Hello there, my little boy. Hello there, my pride and joy. Don't you worry, don't you fear. Don't you cry, Daddy's here. You are my moon and you are my stars. If I must watch you from afar, so be it any day. I'll be happy anyway. I want you close, I want you near. Never want you to have any fears, because you are so precious to me, more than the sun, more than my divine energy. You are the child I love. You are my son I hold above all, even myself, to this day and forever and forever. This will be. Upon the end of that sign, that lyric, he looks down to see Lance. You know, you aren't the greatest singer, but you're still pretty good. Thanks for the critique. Tell Ma I love her. I will. As Lancelot shuts his eyes for the final time. And that's where I'm going to end it off here, folks. I hope you enjoyed your time here with me today, and I'm glad to be back in the rhythm of things. Sorry it took me so long again to get back to posting this thing, and again, I'm just so happy that you are all here to sit with me. Please, if you like the content, please do leave a like. If you don't, leave me a dislike. It's the best way I can tell which videos which critiques are good and not. Anyways, have fun, and I'll talk with you next time. Bye.